So it seems like a lot of actors and actresses out there are just not taking any kind of advice from some of their friends and family to just stay out of politics, to stay out of anything like that or related to that that's going to cost them fans or their entire career. And a lot of those out there are those like Julia Roberts, George Clooney, Mark Hamill, Mark Ruffalo, and even Will Ferrell. We have a lot to talk about him today because he's been looking very rough lately, especially at the LA Kings game, as well as beginning to unload against the general public and really showing his frustration. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Will Ferrell is that I gotta say, when you look at this man in 2025, I almost said 2024 there, in 2025, he looks very disheveled, he looks very rough like I said before, he doesn't look good, he looks very angry, he looks very down, and we all know why, right? They are very much trying to cope with the election loss, the outcome in 2024, and they just can't quite know how to register what actually happened. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, is that Will Ferrell, much like Julia Roberts, much like Robert De Niro, says the most absurd things possible out there, and much like Julia Roberts, by the way, he also participated in a political commercial that completely backfired on his career and on himself as an actor, right? So what's interesting here has a lot to do with Will Ferrell's overall behavior, how he's beginning to act in 2025, and it's not looking good for Will Ferrell. Don't expect a large lineup of movies after this, and especially after that commercial really got so much backlash. So, with many actors and actresses doubling down on their agenda with politics and not backing down, one of those actors includes Will Ferrell, who not only received extensive backlash, like I said before, for that commercial politically, but also was mocked after his recent messy television appearance as Buddy the Elf at the LA Kings game. However, recently Ferrell delivered the following to the general public in regards to the backlash that he received for doing those commercials and engaging in politics prior to the election outcome. I think when you are an actor, he says, you just have to stand up for what's right in this country. And I have no regrets for that commercial that I participated in. I thought I had to do what I had to do to keep this man out of office. And I say that man because I refuse to mention his name or to even provide him the least amount of attention. But yeah, I felt I had to do that, and I expected a negative response from those so far from understanding reality. I will admit that I was a little shocked that the commercial didn't get as much attention as I thought it would, so perhaps my endorsement didn't really make the cut for the end result, but I think the American people really need to learn and invest in themselves to understand just how important politics is, because look at us now. We are going to have to deal with the worst of the worst for the next 4 years, and maybe even longer than that. I mean, I sure as hell hope not, because that's what we are facing. I keep seeing this trend coming from so many people that us actors are crazy, or that we have no clue what we are talking about, and I think that they are projecting. If anything, it's the actors and many talents in this hard-earned business that have the best morals and respect for others, because we truly study emotions and behavior, and you have to if you want to thrive in this business. So, guys, let me just stop here about where Will Ferrell is getting everything wrong. Number one, I don't believe actors and actresses understand morals or understand morals in the best way at all. And just because you study behaviors and emotions and everything of all of that for, your roles and the many movie roles that you're offered, it doesn't automatically translate to you being a very good person. Alright, that's just the given fact. It's a job, they read lines, they understand the character, they do a performance, and then they get a paycheck. And that's it, they move on to the next, right? So basically, Will Ferrell is trying to really prop up the status of being an actor, the status of being an actress, or any talent in the industry, whether it's in the music or film industry, whatever it may be. So he continues, alright? Some of my family and friends are like, Will, why don't you just get out of politics? It's going to cost you fans. And I say this, I just can't sit back and say nothing. I truly love this country, and I feel what happened on November the 5th was a total nightmarish overhaul, and it's going to be a difficult 4 years for the film industry. These are the types of people that want to silence actors like myself and talk show hosts like Mr. Kimmel, who I deeply respect as well. But this man man and his whole team, they just want to silence us because they are afraid. We had to keep him out of office and we failed. So again, here's Will Ferrell really saying that he genuinely believes that he's going to be shut out, that, you know, he's going to be silenced, or he's going to be, you know, thrown out of his career just because. Now look, sure, you're going to get consequences for saying really dumb things, in which he did, and a lot of people are now pushing back, but you're not going to just get pushed to the wayside just because, you know, or silenced just because, right? I think a lot of people, like those of The View, said something similar. You had Whoopi Goldberg, like, oh, you know, they want to get rid of us just to get rid of us. When in reality, look, we know that nobody wants to hear from them. We have an option to tune out from those programs or those movies. But look, it's a free country. People can do what they want to do. But we also have the freedom to not listen to your nonsense or to engage in your entertainment that we really don't find any value in. So moving on forward, he goes on to conclude, and I can assure you I will be doing the same thing I did with the most recent cycle and what I plan to do in 28, because when you are an actor and you have a platform, you might as well use it for the greater good, right? And that's what I did throughout the summer and the entire fall. And like I say, I have no regrets. Sometimes you have to be brave and stand up for what you believe in, even if it comes with consequences, to really differentiate yourself against some of the most idiotic people that want to live a terrible way. So, Will Ferrell, there you go, again, saying really illogical things, saying really inauthentic things to both his fans and to those that, quite frankly, really do resent the guy. Mark Hamill, alright, I mentioned this in the last post. Mark Hamill said something very similar about how his daughter kept pressuring him. Stay out of politics, you're gonna lose fans, you're gonna lose a lot of loyal fans that are ride or die fans, right? And he did. He lost those fans, and he actually openly admitted that he doesn't care if he loses them. He doesn't care if he loses roles. And that's the same type of behavior that Will Ferrell is presenting here, about how he addressed that many of his family and friends are pressuring him to stop the nonsense and to cut it out already, and he just doesn't want to. And that's pretty much the majority of actors, not all, I would say about 90% of them, truly are lost and really have no clue what they're talking about, or they really just don't care about their fans at the end of the day. They'd rather just get involved in politics and leave that up to the politicians, right? You're an actor, do your job, and just act. That's what it really should boil down to. But yeah, I mean, look, it's 2025 now. It's going to be a very interesting year, post-2024, to see how these actors are going to either get louder or slowly get more and more silent, because many of them, by the way, have gotten very, very silent and really are just not saying a thing at all. But overall, yeah, I would like to hear what you all have to say about Will Ferrell, between, you know, what he actually said and between what he actually appeared like at the LA Kings game as Buddy the Elf. I thought that was actually embarrassing for him. But yeah, I would like to hear what you all have to say about that below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.